What's up, Addicts? I'm Michael.
And I'm Josh.
And today we're doing Equalizer 2, the second one.
That's hence the 2.
Yeah. It's a pretty good movie. We saw it just a little bit ago.
I think we saw it the day after it released. So, sorry, we're behind, but, just don't want to bring it to you.
It takes us time to... Yeah, we have no excuse. But
yeah, really.
It was a good movie, and we want to talk about it. Do you want to talk about kind of what the plot is and the characters?
Sure. So if you guys didn't see the first movie, basically...
I didn't see the first movie.
Yeah, which it's not necessary to watch the first movie to watch this one. But to give it to you kind of short... Denzel Washington plays this character that has had a military background. It doesn't say specifically. He's kind of like a special forces, like ex-special forces, squad leader, and he's already been retired. He's faked his death, so he's living under a new identity, and he's basically just trying to, live his life and everything. But we see him actually start to help people. Because that's always been his passion. That's why he did his previous work, and that's what he continues to do. And in this, he goes, for like one example, there's a woman that he meets at a library that he gets books from, and her daughter goes missing, and he goes like countries away just to retrieve.
Turkey, yeah, he goes to Turkey.
Just to retrieve her daughter. So he does stuff like that. He's kind of like a vigilante. And this movie focuses more on his personal side, whereas the first movie focuses on his vigilante side. But we get to see a close person to him, probably the last person that he was ever close to. His only friend ends up winding dead on the job. And so he goes into investigating exactly why she died and who did it. And it kind of just unfolds from there. As far as characters, there's really, there's only a few characters that really matter, that being Denzel, his friend, and then also the other friend that he has that, I guess technically not a friend, more of a coworker, an ex-coworker, but I'm sorry, I don't remember their names. It's not terribly important, as you'll see, because you get introduced to them for the first time in this one. So... but getting right into it, Michael, how did you feel about this movie?
Well, thinking back on it, I really like the action scenes in this movie. Denzel's one of my favorite actors, and he really brings it to this film. There's some emotional notes as well. There is he is a Lyft driver in this movie. Mm-hmm. So there's some characters you meet in there, specifically an older guy who was part of the Holocaust, but he was a Holocaust survivor, and his story with his sister. Trying to get a painting of his sister that was made a long time ago as, kind of like a last memory of her life. Mm-hmm. And that story really concludes well towards the end. I really liked the emotional notes of that story. And then you also have him trying to help a young man who's being involved in gangs and whose brother was actually killed by a gang. Mm-hmm. And I really like that storyline too. And then you have the main storyline where he's basically investigating this person's death, and you get to see... I really like the end battle, and you get to see kind of what makes Denzel who he is, the skills he has as a fighter hand-to-hand, and then also with weaponry and kind of trickery to gain the advantage even against trained assassins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Denzel is... I can't think of a bad performance that I've seen him in, or the movies that I've watched of his, and the action is really good. I would say... it's pretty on par with the first one in terms of its setup and how it works. He's got kind of like a stopwatch that he analyzes everything in a matter of seconds, and he's able to calculate exactly how to dispatch those people in an instant. And it's really cool. The first probably two, well, maybe not the first one, but the second one you get to see involving one of his people that he's driving around. That one's probably one of my favorite parts, just because it harkens back to the first one so much. But I love just the aspect of, keeping the DNA of the first one, have him being a vigilante, but then also, not giving you the exact same thing, but also upping it a little bit by going more into a personal story that's made as the main focus. And yeah, I would say this is a overall just really good action movie.
Yeah, I liked it. It wasn't anything revolutionary or special. I personally, we reviewed Upgrade on the channel quite a bit ago, and it kind of harkens back the action in that movie. I prefer the action style in this one because it's more traditional and it's not as like jerky. Which it served a plot in Upgrade, a plot point. That it was like that. But I like the action. It was similar to the action Upgrade, but I liked this style better. I liked the gunplay quite a bit. There wasn't too much of that, but and I really liked the scene where he basically goes up against. Goes into a gang headquarters, and you get to see that and that kind of ownage. And there's also a scene between him and the individual that he's kind of mentoring, his friend. I guess they're friends. There's a couple scenes with his friend that are really great. There's one that's super tense with a mirror. That's a mirror's involved in that, and then there's another one where. Denzel kind of gives this young man the choice is if he's going to become a killer or not, and how important that decision is to make. It's not something that he could do lightly.
Yeah, and that's what makes The Equalizer a little bit different than some other like vigilante action movies. There's more of a personal side to it. Yes, there is action. Yes, there is some stuff going on that he has to deal with. With violence, but he does really have a personal connection that makes the stories really feel real and kind of more fleshed out. And that's personally one of the reasons why I really liked the first one, and I was glad that they still harkened onto that. I want to say the one scene you're talking about where he goes up into the gang hideout, I guess you could say, probably my favorite line out of this movie, where there are some guys like, "Who the hell are you?" And he's like, "I'm your dad. Your mama just never told you." I just love that because it's pretty. Denzel is one of those people that could say something like that and could pull it off so well, and that's another reason why I think perfect casting as the Equalizer for Denzel, because he pulls it off really well. Both sides of that, really endearing kind of mentor steering you in the right direction, but also kind of like an intimidating assassin that used guerrilla tactics, and so that just props to him on his range. But overall, I did really like it. I can't say that this one was better than the first one. I actually think I personally like the first one better, just because I like how the story and everything played out. But this one is still really good, and I would say that it is a worthy sequel. It's definitely on par, I would say, because it does have, like I said, it's different in a good way, and so it's definitely a worth it for me. I recommend that you guys go see it. If you liked the first one especially, I would say go see it because it adds more into the stuff that you saw in the first one. But just as like an action, if you want something that's really good and doesn't really have, either has very little or minor plot holes, it's something that, even holds up when you analyze it. And so that's what I would say.
Yeah, for my rating, I'd probably go with the worth it as well. From someone who didn't see the first movie, it was still enjoyable. I mean, there's some plot elements that I wouldn't say that I didn't understand, but that I didn't, his friend who ends up dying, I didn't have as big of a connection.
Yeah, not as big as an impact, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, no, I really liked it as an action movie. I liked the message of the film, when you kind of look into it, and I really liked my favorite part was probably the end story with the Holocaust survivor. That was emotional. It was an emotional an action movie, and the final fight scene is pretty good. I wouldn't say
what a twist. I mean, it's definitely better than Mission Impossible.
Yes.
Holy crap! Now, if you take in that's how you do a fight scene in really harsh circumstances,
Yeah, I really liked.
Sorry,
yeah,
it's.
I was actually going to mention that it's so much better than Mission Impossible. It's actually kind of crazy that we saw Mission Impossible first, but
yeah.
But yeah, I really liked the film. Only as far as recommendations, it is rated R, but I wouldn't say it's a super strong R, just kind of action, right?
Yeah, honestly, I think, I don't know, there are some, maybe gory or,
because someone does explode.
Yeah, that maybe wouldn't be good for really young children. I don't know. I personally think, 14, 15 could easily see this movie.
There's a scene where he breaks back someone's fingers. I think I turned to Josh in the theater. I was like, oh, it's gotta hurt.
You were like, what did... I was like, he's like, oh. So, yeah, that's a really fun scene. That's probably my favorite scene out of the movie, to be honest. But, yeah, I don't know what else to say besides you guys should go check it out. Hopefully it's still in theaters so you guys can see it, because I think that adds to an experience when you like a movie. But regardless, it's still worth seeing if you didn't have to rent it. So anyway, guys, that'll conclude this review, and we'll see you guys next time.
Peace.
Later, Addicts.